I am so excited because we happened this week. Okay, before we get our guest to introduce himself, so we received hair from Sensational. That's the crochet hair, a lot of it actually. Um, a lot of crochet hair over here. This will be a nice video. I'm still editing it, and you should be receiving it soon. More sensational items. Hello, if you're here, say hi. More sensational items. And we have boxes still that we have not unpacked. So that's why I said the video we're still working on it. We got a lot of items from Sensational. All right, so as usual, we have to wait at least 5 minutes for more people to join in. But if you're here already, you can say hi, and if you have a question, you can ask the question. All right. Here. So the topic today is very important. I think this is like this maybe after location, after finding the location of your business, getting a card reader, getting a point of sale system, and getting a good merchant services company is so important for you. All right, I see some people are joining in. Say hi. Let us know where you're watching us from. Okay, I'm obviously in Chicago. Our guest is also in Chicago. Uh, okay. All right. I think we should just get right ahead and start. So, seen my video where I talk about POS system and merchant services, right? So, when I started out, I had not met our guest, so I was out there just trying to figure things out, and no one could tell me exactly how much it's going to cost to run cards for my store. Like everyone was just like, "How much are you gonna make?" Like I don't know. I haven't opened the business yet. Oh, what's your estimates? What's your projections? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, this is my first time. I don't know what it's gonna be. So they're like, oh well, if you make less than 5,000 a month, it's gonna be a high charge. Online, it's very risky for hair. Apparently, selling hair is risky online. There's a lot of chargebacks, things that I didn't even understand what a chargeback was, and just a lot of um things. Give me 1 second. Is there something we can help you find? All right. So I have an employee at work, but she's busy with another client. Okay. So I didn't know these things. I didn't know the cost. Even when they tell you things like, "Oh, it's gonna be 2%," I'm just thinking in my head like $2 for every $100, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, not too bad. But I I penalize you. So like my contract that I say that and service provider before my 3 years, I had to pay, I think was like 1,500 penalty. And I'm like, wow. Okay, that's a lot of money. So what I I knew they gave me a price match guarantee, and they do that just to make you sign that, like, you know what, we are honest, we're 100%. Like, if you find someone who gives you a better deal than we give you, we'll price match it. I was like, okay, good. So people were approaching me, and this will happen to you too in your business. You People will walk in and say, oh, we are. So I had to find a way that I can keep my point of sale system, but get rid of my merchant service provider. So if you're wondering, like, what is Kate talking about? What is point of sale? What is merchant? I'm gonna try and clarify. So point of sale system is the thing, the monitor that's at the front, where it has a display. So where you type in or you scan things and they pop up and it prints a receipt. That's your point of sale system. And then a merchant provider is the person who's helping you charge customers cards. So when you swipe, tap, all that, that money is picked with a company. They take that money. So they help you take money out of your client's bank account and put it in your account. I think that's the easiest way for me to say that. So that's the merchant service provider. That's the service. They help you get money out of your client's account into your account. And it's not free. This is America. They have to get their cut, they have to make their money. So that's the part that I was struggling with. I was like, and then they say, oh, we're not even taking a lot of money. This money is all going to Visa and MasterCard and Discover. And it was just so hard for me to get it. I was like, you guys, I'm like, I should have discovered Visa card then. Like, this is where the real business is, because I am struggling to even just, pay these fees. And at the end of the month, my fees used to be like $400, $300. I have gone up to like 480. I think that was the day I was like, okay, no more cards in my store. No, I will not pay $480 to someone because I need to charge a card. Like, seriously, like, no way. So it was a big pain in my life. And you know me, I'm resourceful. I will find the person who's the best in that particular field. So that's the guest we have today. So um he'll explain different options for you, because I had already started out with a different company, but we're here so that you don't start with a different company. We want you to start right, like, start the right way. Don't go trying to see what these other people are offering. I mean, go try, go find it. But trust me, I've done the research. You're better off with just going with the option that I'm giving you today, because this is a game changer. Like, this is it. This is the best of the best. All right, I see people coming in. I would like you to, when you come in and you have a question, or just say hi, say where you're from. Leroy in the house. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Hi, Leroy. Um, and so I want you to bring all your questions, all your point of sale questions, all your merchant services questions, everything that you think, your loyalty programs. That's how you run loyalty programs. You see, when you go to, like, I don't know, Target, they have like the Target Circle, or who else, like, Sephora, Nordstrom, they all have these loyalty programs. You can also have a loyalty program in your beauty supply store. So this is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna have to start the right way so you can offer those services to your clients so that they can keep coming back and shop with you. All right. So let's see, we're at the 10-minute mark. I'm gonna wait until like 15. So I have already shared my experience with you, and most of you have reached out to me. So we have actually been opening point of sale systems and merchant services for some of you. Some of you just reached out and said, you know what, the person you're going to invite into the live, I'm not going to wait. I need to open my beauty supply store right now. Please send me the direction. Who is it? So I have already shared with some of you. Um, but today I want you to hear from this person. I want you to hear, because I might be saying it's, this is it, this is it, this is it, but I want you to hear from to be, I mean, he gets it. He understands small business. So I guess I will just let you introduce yourself and say hi to our community, let them know about the services that you offer.
Well, first, I want to say thank you to Catherine for actually inviting me. We've been planning this for a while, but because of lack of technical abilities on my end, I didn't have a YouTube page and stuff like that. I wasn't able to come, so I do apologize for being late. But I thank Miss Catherine and the good people at Lux Beauty Salon, Lux Beauty Supply for inviting me into the network. First, a little bit about me. I used to be, for 20 years, way back, I was in a call center for a lot of the merchant service companies that Miss Catherine was talking about, where you see the 800 number, you call in and you get some random person. Yeah, I was doing that for a while. And I was able to learn a lot about the inside of how merchant services actually works. And long story short, I found a lot of loopholes and I found a lot of falseness, a lot of lies, a lot of things that they were telling people that wasn't actually happening at their store. And some of us that were just trained to say the script and didn't, do the math or actually do investigations, we actually didn't understand that we were lying to the people. So some of the people that you get for, like, let's say Clover, she mentioned Clover, but let's say you get an ad, you call these ads. Some of those people that answer the phone are not even aware of what they're saying to you might not be true. Some of them are just following a script and kind of going from there. So let's start with the basics. Um, Merchant services. That's simply the ability to accept debit and credit cards as a form of payment from the public. Now, you have to be part of the PCI community. The payment card community is where the compliances are federally regulated, so they make sure all major card brands are taken equally. And the major card brands we all know, Visa, American Express, Mastercard, Diners Club, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when you're dealing with a merchant service company, the money that they take from you is also not the same money that Visa, American Express, and all of these other major car brands are taking. So there's two prices there. There's what the merchant service company is taking, and then there's what Visa and American Express are charging also. So when you combine that, that's what your actual prices would be. Now, on top of that, more recently than in the past, but now you have frequent flyer miles, specialty reward cards, cashback rewards, Capital One. When you see these commercials, what's in your wallet, Sam Jackson or whatever, Citibank or 3% anywhere, 2% everywhere, or anything. What they don't tell business owners is that comes out of your end of every single transaction on top of what you paying your merchant service company and what you're paying Visa, American Express, and whoever else. So now you got all of these charges coming on your side. And let's say you have a profit margin of maybe of $1 when you're doing retail in a beauty supply situation. And I deal a lot with retails, and we'll mention this later. But I represent a lot of different small retail stores, small to mid-sized stores, and sometimes the profit per item can be as little as 10 cents. But let's use $1 for example. So if your profit is $1, and now with all of these charges, you're losing 5% on every transaction, that eats into your profit. And at the end of the month, you're looking at all of your goods and inventory sold, and your projected what your projected volume or what your projected profit would be turns out to be a whole lot less than that. And a lot of people don't pay attention to the merchant service part of it. Now, when you got so many different hands in your pocket before you actually can cash out, so to speak, it gets troublesome. And then you got these third party and fourth party companies like, Square, PayPal. They start off at like 2.75%, and Square goes as high as 3.50% if you key it in. Now, that's also with a 30-cent transaction, plus the frequent flyer miles and the extra fee. I mean, it's a whole lot that you have to deal with. So when you're talking about merchant services, you don't want to start with how the equipment looks. You don't want to start with what's flashy and shiny and pretty and nice looking for the store before you understand how much it's going to actually cost the store to use it. Now, a lot of businesses fail when they don't pay attention to the very small stuff, the stuff that cuts into the money. Now, as a business owner, I'm hoping that it's kind of understood as a general rule that you never want to pay more than you have to for anything that you're using, especially every single day in the process of running your business. So you start there as well. A lot of people, like she said, they go to Clover and Toast and all of these kind of popular devices, and I sell them and I've sold them. But the problem is you have to have a true understanding of how it works so you can develop or customize a program that's going to be good for you for that entire time. Because if you get a Clover and you're not happy with the merchant service provider, the program, the price, the Schedule A, which is basically your rate schedule, if you're not completely happy with that, then you're stuck with that until you change POS systems. Now, if you paid almost $2,500 for a full size Clover Pro bundle, you're not gonna want to switch that. So you're gonna be stuck dealing with those high rates for a long time. Um, what we're doing now is after 20 years of being in the industry, I've developed a program, my own corporation, but we have back end. So the big boys still have the insurance, the federal compliances, and the necessary implemented laws are being followed so that we're able to provide the same type of merchant services to you that everybody else enjoys. But we have two basic programs. Traditionally, you always pay a price to accept debit and credit card processing. Traditionally, that's how it works. So what we do is we try to take the very smallest amount possible. For instance, if we take 0.5% from you every time a card is charged, when you add Visa, American Express, MasterCard, and everyone else, it's still going to add up to about 1.6 all the way up to maybe 1.92%. And then there's a per transaction charge. I try to do it as small as I can, somewhere between 7 and 10% per transaction. And that's not my favorite program. The last maybe 5 years, some of you might have heard about surcharging or making a customer pay their own transaction fee. You probably have to do it at a gas station. If you pay any type of utility bills online with the card, there's always a little bit extra with the card than it is with cash. We do the same thing now for small business owners, where instead of you having to go all of those fees that I just spoke about and covered, instead of you having to pay those fees, Visa is covered, American Express, everybody else gets their money. It just no longer is forced to come from your pocket. So we put a small transaction fee on the customer. That way, you keep 100% of your money, especially if you had small profit margins and small size transactions, but a lot of them, those 3 and 4% fees, they add up. Miss Catherine mentioned that she was paying as high as $480 a month at one point, just for how much she accepted in debit and credit. Now, this is on top of her rent, her wholesale. This is
Internet.
internet. This is not something that most people understand is a part of doing business. When you go into that, you have to recognize it as a bill. But if you can convert it, or you choose to, you can now cut out merchant service fees entirely. So my two
Yeah.
programs are pretty basic. One is where, compared to everyone else, Square, PayPal, banks, other merchant service companies, compared to everyone else, we're saving you somewhere around 45%. And that's the traditional program. My
Right.
favorite program is where you pay nothing uh, at all. They charge $10. If it's a $10 transaction, let me show you how it works. The same amount of fees that you could have paid is somewhere around 3.5 to about 3.99%, almost 4%. So we send that same amount over to the customer. So on a $10 transaction, that's 19 cents. On a $15 transaction, that's 21 cents. All the way up to, like, on a whole dollar, $100 transaction, that's 103.99. So simply put, you would be telling your customer, 104 debit or credit, or $100 cash. How would you like to pay? But by taking that control, you save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, because you are already accepting all types of debit and credit. Apple Pay, Apple Watch, nothing's unlimited. Nothing changes.
Right.
The only difference is you keep all your money. And then
Mm-hmm.
when she was speaking about contracts, what I like to do is, either I'm going to provide you with a free basic terminal that doesn't do much at all. It only takes debit and credit, Apple Pay, all that good stuff, and prints a receipt. But instead of putting you into some type of lease or having you pay big numbers, I recommend certain POS systems that you can purchase one time only. Very Some of them very inexpensive. I recommend Deja Vu Pro, and I recommend EPOS. Now my company is able to program those POS systems to put my rates on those systems. So it's almost like you got it directly from me. Now the reason we don't do that, because leasing and contracts and all of that, it gets tricky and it gets expensive, and for lack of a better reason, it should be scary to you. So what I like to do is I
Right.
do month to month only contracts, meaning that for any reason you cancel, you can cancel. There's no cancellation fees. You only have to send back whatever equipment that we might have sent you. But if you own your own equipment, then you just have to cancel. And then once that billing, you'll pay for that last billing cycle, whatever that month was. And at that point, you do you. We don't believe in, um, I want to provide a service so good that you're with me because you enjoy what we do for you. You enjoy the price, not because you're stuck and can't go anywhere else. So you'll own your own equipment, or I'll give you free equipment. And you always have the option that if we're not proving ourselves to be the very best merchant service company, your cancellation is free. It's no extra charges, no restocking, or anything like that. But basically, when it comes to merchant services, it's as simple as never pay more than you have to, and don't get caught in something that you can't get out of. And that's it. I've been working with the Belux Beauty people. Thank you for that. I've also worked with solo beauty. I have three solo beauties here in Chicago. Also, and through the beauty supply network that I'm on now, we just talked to three different people that are opening up stores currently, right now, that are already going through the program, and all three of them have chosen to not pay fees at all. They're pushing fees over to the customer. So you have those options, and my information will be in the comments, and you can contact Miss Catherine directly. But that's it. You can't really understand pricing per transaction because of the frequent flyer miles, the cashback rewards, the Visa, Mastercard, everything fluctuates, and then you
Right.
got what the company charges you. My suggestion is pay no fees at all, so it's easier for you to do your books. You charge $20, you got $20 in your account. I don't know. It's Belux Beauty actually uses both my programs. If you don't mind, Miss Catherine has a limit in her stores. Certain transactions under a certain amount will pay their own fees. Other transactions above a certain amount, she'll take the fees. So you can
Yeah.
also balance that out and customize it in a way that works better for you. And that's I think that's it. We'll tackle and handle questions if anyone has questions. But I think that's pretty much the basics of what I'm providing and how I like to provide it, especially for small to mid-sized businesses. That's it. What you got for me? You got any questions?
Yeah. And am I still there?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't see you.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say that people need to understand that, honestly, can I purchase the equipment from you? Leroy is asking.
Oh well, yeah. Well, the POS systems, no, no, I don't sell. Well, yes. If you necessarily need a clover that I don't recommend, then my company can provide clovers, and I do small desktop terminals, not full POS systems. But you can purchase a ePOS system straight out, and some of those are as low as $100 or $140, something like that. And then we call in, we set the merchant services up for you. We put in a VAR sheet to put our program right on your merchant service, right on your counter. So we'll be able to help you with your menu, inventory management, gift card management, loyalty programs for your customers, stuff like that. And then also just the basic merchant services, making sure that my rates are on your store, and that's anywhere in the continental United States. We don't if Louisiana, L.A., Cali, Montgomery, Alabama, wherever you are, in the U.S., we can provide service. We are licensed in all 50 states, and we'll be providing our website, contact information, so you can validate us. Some of our stores, like I said, we do good business, but no, I won't sell you a POS system. But I have those two recommendations. Again, Deja Vu Pro
So,
and ePOS system.
right. And the reason why you'd rather buy your own equipment is that with the, like, for example, I have the EPOS, and I love it because I can switch merchant services. So I have the flexibility as a business owner and tell, oh, because you bought this product from me, you have to stay with me.
Right.
So I would suggest you buy your own equipment, so it's yours, and then get the merchant to come in. I will say this though, people don't like to sell the equipment by itself. So they can charge you in and say, "Oh, we can give you a deal. Maybe instead of paying $400 for your equipment, we'll give it to you for $99 as long as you use our merchant services." That's a trick that's used a lot. So you have to be consider, do you want to get the $300 discount now and pay for it later, pay $480 a month? Or do you want to pay the 400, $500 now, buy the equipment, and then keep your charges low, like, 150, 100, depending on your transaction? It's a huge saving. And I wouldn't be bringing Sadiq here if this is not legit. Like, this has saved my business. I'm telling you, I was having sleepless nights. I'm like, these people are just taking money out of my account,
And there's
money you've
nothing you
worked
can
hard
do.
for.
And you have to
Right,
take
there's nothing
cards
you
for
can do.
business. What's the percentage, Miss Catherine? What's the percentage of your cash sales versus your card sales?
Card is still high. I would say we probably transact, maybe two-thirds card and a third
So
cash.
that's like almost
So
60, 70%. So most
right,
businesses nowadays, especially with COVID and all of the pandemic stuff, people are using more plastic transactions than they are
right,
actual cash transactions. And then
especially
here's
Apple
some
Pays
inside
and Google Pay.
information, they're trying to get rid of cash. So
Yeah,
making sure that you can always take any form of payment, that's important. So if you wind up in a position, let's say you're taking more cards than you are cash, this is definitely a program where you don't want to be spending more than you have to for that. And I want to say this, I do have Deja Vu Pros through one of my companies. You can get them yourself, but we do have Deja Vu Pros through one of my companies, and I can do rental agreements, no leasing, no extra charges. I can do as little as like maybe 89 bucks a month. These systems are about 1,300. But I would again suggest getting the EPOS system. If you don't want to spend that much, you should check out the EPOS systems and look
right.
up Deja Vu Pro yourself. And if you can't get it, if you don't have a capital to get it yourself, we can do a rental own agreement or something for that. Now listen, I want to clarify something. If you own your own equipment, which is what I suggest, then we do month to month only with no contracts, no cancellation fees. If you cannot get your equipment on your own and we have to do a rent to own, then I would have to put you in the contract at least for the length of the rental agreement. And that's not my choice. That's the third party company for the equipment I would have to do. But all of these things would be discussed transparently so you have a full working understanding of what it is on the table moving forward. But my suggestion, so I can do what my choice is month to month only. So my suggestion is to purchase your own EPOS or purchase your own Deja Vu Pro, and I'll make sure you never pay more than you have to for any transaction. Uh, Miss Catherine made me give her a traditional program for the salon. I don't like my customers paying any fees at all. Let the customers pay all the fees. But if you are like Miss Catherine and you want to split it, then we'll do that for you. But not my choice. Whatever. Any more questions? It can what
Yeah.
any questions?
So so I'm also gonna say, to add on what. So what we'll do is we'll put in the link where you can go purchase your own EPOS system for you to purchase it cheaper if you go with our merchants. And do not fall. I was trying to get cheapsteak, so I decided I want to cheap, and obviously I paid full price. Why? This is the whole point. This is why Beauty Supply Insider is here. I'm here to share all the mistakes that I did so that you don't do the same mistakes. I don't want you saying, "Oh, I did this because I didn't have the information, or I didn't know who to ask, I didn't know where to go." This is free information. It's on YouTube. Like, literally, if you're making mistakes and you can learn from someone on YouTube for free, I don't know how to help you now, because the information is out there. Like, we're bringing this information here for you so that you don't make any mistakes. And it doesn't matter if you're starting out perfect, you can start the right way. But if you already started, just look for a loophole. Have a beauty supply store that's planning to switch, and we're trying to look at her contract and how she can break it. Every time they go, the price goes up, because they'll quote you on a price. So maybe they'll quote you and say whatever it is, maybe um five I don't know, 15 cents per transaction, and like maybe 2%. Then, because right now there's inflation, so the company can reach out to you and say, the prices are going up, so we're gonna do 3.5% per transaction, and maybe 20 cents per transaction. So anytime they come to you with a price hike, you don't have to sign that contract.
Yeah,
So
that's
when
one
they
thing.
say, that's a one way out of your contract. So if they reach out to you and say, oh, the prices are gonna go high, you'll just be bumped into the new transaction or the new contract. You'll be like, hey, hold on, hold on, hold on. That's not what I signed. I signed for this amount. So if your amount is gonna go high, I need to break my contract because this is not what I signed up for. So that's one loophole. I'm giving you free information here because I don't want you to suffer. I don't want you to pay huge prices. I mean, we're here to build legacy. We're here to make change in the beauty supply industry and small businesses. We're here because we want to make change, and we cannot make change if someone else is taking all the money we are working hard for, right?
Hey, and
So always,
everything that looks easy, everything that's easy, it's a trap. Square, PayPal, your bank. When you open up a business account for your bank is gonna try to third party you off to a merchant service company. The very
right.
those are the ones you have to not sign up for. They're gonna get you while you're in the bank already. Be careful. It's a setup. And all of
Right.
those fees, your bank is never gonna treat you better than a direct merchant service company because it's illegal for them to do it. That's why they third party you off because you can't be both a Chase, let's say a Chase customer can't have Chase merchant services. So the third party that they send you to has a banking back end relationship with Chase. So now their
Yeah.
prices have to be higher so everyone can eat off of you. So
Yeah.
never sign up
Chase
with
is
the merchant services with your bank. Never do it. Never go
yeah.
through your bank for merchant services, especially for Clover, because they'll put you with a first data lease where you pay like 2 times as much as you're supposed to for the
Right.
um. It's a $3,000 Clover Mini where they cost $750. It's crazy, and they always say the same thing. Oh, we got the right one for you, and you're thinking it's my bank. It's my bank. Why would they lie? They're not here to help you. Banks are oh geez. That's another I think that might be another video, but banks are not your friends. They are a tool. You use them. Don't let them use you. Never go
Right.
with their third party suggestion unless you're trying to give away your money. People got to know that. People need to know your viewers. Whew, so many horror stories of trying to get people out of Clover because their bank suggested it to them. I had a mechanic that they talked him into getting a Clover Mini with inventory management, employee management, gift and loyalty cards. The dude only wants to take credit card. He doesn't have inventory. He doesn't have any of the fancy stuff. But they tried to put him in a $2,000 contract for equipment that he didn't need at all, paying way
Wow.
more than he had to. And it took me a little work, but I was able to get him out of it. And right now he's with me. He has a card reader, little tiny card reader, this big. And he likes it because most of the time his hands are covered in grease and he doesn't want
Yeah.
anything fancy. So we got him a card reader. He is now paying $14 per month total, no matter how much he takes in. That's it. because his customers pay all their fees, and he does really, really well, over $70,000 every month, and he pays $14. So I
Yeah,
don't know. Like
that's
she said, the information is free. What you choose to do with it, that might cost you.
right. And another thing that I'm gonna share. So obviously, I'm here learning from my mistakes, and hopefully, you don't get to do the same thing. So what I didn't know is that once you've been approved to get the merchant service accounts, and once they approve you, you need to go ahead and be PCI compliant. I know Sadiq mentioned it a little bit there, but he didn't go deep into it. So I'm just gonna say compliant like right away.
Hmm.
If you're not PCI compliant, after 3 months grace period that they give you, they'll start charging you more. I think I was paying that I was not PCI compliant.
There was a miscommunication, and that is very important. And PCI compliance is something that, well, basically, it's about the safety of your customers. Payment card industry compliances are federally regulated, and it's about storing cardholder information, having employees with access to cards. It's a lot of basic don't do bad business stuff that we know you guys are not doing, but you have to every couple months or so you have to keep up with those compliances and make sure they're up to date. We have people that tech support and customer service workers that'll give you the number and help you through those things. But it's very important. If anyone ever says that you're not PCI compliant or you need to be PCI compliant, pay attention to that, because if you don't do it wrong, if you don't do it fast enough, it can grow into penalties that you cannot afford. Just paying for non-compliance can be as much as $80 per month. But if you get a non-compliant violation from any one card, it'll go for all cards. It's like 250 the first time, but it'll be 250 for Visa, American Express, MasterCard. It's a lot. So you don't want to do that, especially for those of you that are doing e-commerce as well as brick and mortar face-to-face transactions, card present transactions. You always want to be compliant because of all of the fraud and all of the things that's going on in the world. We want to make sure that your store and your money is safe, because you would be responsible for those chargebacks. If you're not PCI compliant, you're responsible for chargebacks. Know that. Know
Wow.
that. Yeah, if someone comes and buys a wig and has an ID and all that, and walks out, gets in the car and says that they didn't purchase that. If your equipment is not up to date, you could go through that if you don't have that. If you don't keep the receipt and keep the signed receipt or whatever, um, you could actually be responsible or at least lose that purchase. So we want to make sure you don't lose a dollar, not from chargebacks or PCI compliances, and we don't want you to pay more than you have to just to take money from someone that's shopping at your store. It's a lot, but you got to pay attention to it because it's going to hit you in your account where it really hurts.
Right. And I like the fact that you also mentioned. So I see some people in the live. If you have any questions regards to point of sale systems, and with regards to card readers, merchant services, this is your time to ask, because when you want to deal with Shadik later and you want his time, you'll have to pay for it. Okay. So he's giving us the time right now so we can get this information. All right.
Yeah.
So
Ask
while we are
anything you want to know about merchant services, I'll do my best to answer it.
okay. So I want to talk about the chargeback, since we've reached there, and that's also one important thing that people don't understand. So um obviously, when you open your store with me, these are things that we take care of. Having store policies. Where do you place your store policies? Are people aware when they buy things from your store? What can be taken back? What cannot be returned? What cannot be refunded? Is it on your receipt? Are you letting them know? Are you letting them know? the policy. So I'll say, for example, when someone is coming in to buy a wig in our store, anytime I see a question there, we'll respond to that. So anytime someone comes in the store and says, I want to purchase a wig, we ask, like, have you worn wigs before? Is it this style that you like? Do you want to try it in here in the store? Because if you buy it and go with it, we cannot take it back. Like, if they say, but this is when they say, like, oh, I've never worn a wig before, we'll be like, okay, if you've never worn a wig before, let's go try it so you can see. Pick, because we allow people in our store to wear 3 wigs, to try 3 wigs for free. After that, they have to pay a wig trial fee, because now they are taking your time. But for 3 weeks, we'll do it. If they want to sit there and start looking at more extra wigs, we charge a fee. It's just convenient so that they also don't waste your time. So when they're starting to try their wigs, they're like, oh, awesome, I like this one. You're like, oh, okay, you like this? All right, I'll go grab it for you. And you can sell it to them. But if someone says, then they'll ask maybe at the cash register, like, okay, what if I go home with this wig and I don't like it? You're like, okay, you just tried it and you said you liked it. If you have doubts, just leave it. Go think about it and come back and purchase it, because once you go with this, we'll not take it back. So the card reader and the merchant services, they want you to explain to your customers that whatever they're purchasing that's not allowed back, let them know, so that they don't go and say, oh, I bought this item and I tried to return it, they refused to take it back, so I want my money back. Like, that's the chargeback.
Right. Now
And
you, if you could be, you got to be careful with large transactions for people that you don't know.
right.
If you ever see weird stuff, make sure you getting IDs and signatures for those transactions. Cover yourself. Um, you know when you're comfortable and when you're not. You're the store owner. If you feel something off, make sure you get signatures and at least see the ID. That way you're covered. If there's ever a dispute, you might need that receipt
Right.
to show that it was done. And then on our equipment, you're either gonna do a regular transaction with no pen, or you can choose to have a pen or a signature. It's up to you for extra security. But those receipts and signatures for large transactions, and I guess I want to say strange type people. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And keep in mind, I don't do retail. I'm in the back end of every one of your stores. I'm just the money. So I'm not always in tune with the retail portion of it. But I do understand basic fundamental, I should say, ways in which you guys work. So you would be teaching me some things as well, but you always want to know, like, if you got a high ticket, let's say your wigs are the highest wig you got, let's call it $500, and it doesn't sell that fast, but someone tries to purchase 3 of those, and they're not a beautician and they're not a regular. Then this is a transaction where you make sure you get a receipt for yourself and one for the customer. Sign it, make sure it's signed, and if your cameras wasn't on, turn them on at that point. I don't
Yeah.
know. Again, I'm from Chicago, and I don't mean to be negative, but you always want to be I don't know, pray for the best but prepare for the worst or something like that, they say.
Yeah. So, all right, let's answer the question here. Someone was asking, what's the average price to pay for a POS system in the beginning? So, Dom, what you need to know is that it depends with what you get. So, and what do you need? For a basic one would probably have a monitor, a barcode scanner, a receipt printer. So that's, and maybe a customer display. So the customer can also see the transactions as they go through. So for the one that I got with EPOS system, theirs is usually about, I think, $700, $800. But keep in mind, I bought mine a while back. So right now the price could be different, but I would say a good deal is anything under $1,000. Anything above $1,000 is maybe it's extra things. Do you really need that? Maybe do you need the e-commerce part? Are you going to be online? Is it integrating your inventory with your website? Like now, then that's, you're asking for a little bit too much. Well, not too much because you need it for your business, but you're asking for a little bit more than the average business is asking for.
I
But
gotta answer. I agree. I agree that $1,000 is a comfortable spot in terms of how much you want to spend. But again, you got to realize what it is you're going to be doing. And then we're talking beauty supply. So we know you need inventory management. You know you
yeah,
need basic basic reports and tracking. We know you need obviously monitors or at least one monitor, and you need to at least have a facing unit or a unit that can be turned to face the customer. They want to be able to see their total. They also want to be able to put their PIN number or signature in without it being on the other side of the register. So with that in mind, the lowest you're ever gonna really spend for a full size, for an all included POS system, the lowest you'll ever do is about maybe 600. But you should be looking to spend somewhere between six and maybe 1,500 on a all-in POS system. Now, for all of you that might hear this information and think, I heard it was 2,500 and 3,000 and whatever. That's because you're talking about lease pricing with Clover, Toast, and people like Square. And if I didn't mention it, stay away from Square. Anyway, um, it's yeah, it's all based on your actual needs. But I would say, like Miss Catherine said, somewhere like between 700 and about 1,500, I would say would be your max that you would need to spend on an all-inclusive POS system.
and you want to make sure that after you spend that money, the equipment is yours to keep.
Yes, yes. That's why you only get a certain type because if you invest $1,500 in your store and the merchant service company that you're with is non-satisfactory, now if you can't use that equipment without using them, you have to do another investment for another piece of hardware, which might run you an additional 1,500. So you got to
Yeah,
be smart. I don't know what you're aiming at before you pull the trigger. I
right.
guess. Yeah, no.
Or or just do what's already been done. Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, no.
Just do exactly what's been done before. Like some of you just reach out to me and like, you know what, Kate, I just need the exact system that you have. That's it. Don't
Right.
even don't even tell me or another option. Just give me whatever it's working for you. That's what I want.
That's a real easy way. So what we are trying to do with the beauty supply insiders, what I'm noticing is that these are like kits. These are like do-it-yourself kits. You
Yeah.
can just copy and paste and boom, beauty
And
supply
work.
store on Monday. So
Right.
it's not
Yeah. When
this
we
is how
say
you
that,
start.
like this is almost like
Yes.
it's already done. You just tell me what's your timeline. Okay, two
It's
months.
foolproof.
That's it.
It's foolproof. And
Right.
I'm happy to
Right.
say, hold on, let me pull up this young lady. Hold on. This one lady just got approved, and I hope she sees this. We value your business, even though you don't start till the first. She did not. She's one of those ladies that's properly prepared, and the day she opens, she's gonna be already set up and marching. It's Braids by Lydia. Braids by Lydia, one of the Beauty Supply Insiders members networks, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Are they members? Family? What do you call it? What do you call the Beauty Supply Insiders? Are
Of the
they?
insiders. We are doing the inside job.
Yeah,
So
the insiders. So one of the insiders, Miss Lydia, Braids by Lydia, she just got approved for her merchant service account. She decided to go with my suggestion. She went with the Deja Vu Pro. I can provide that. Those are the ones that I can provide. I don't own any. I don't have any e-commerce. My company doesn't have a third party contract with EPOS system, I should say. But you can also deal with them. But I provide. I just saw a question in the bottom from some Dom, like dominatrix. Nope, I'm playing. But yeah, Dom, I provide the Deja Vu Pro, and I provide Deja Vu terminals, and I have some mobile options too. But I don't think that's what we're talking about for the beauty supply insiders. But yeah, Miss Miss Braids by Lydia out of Michigan, one of the beauty supply insiders. She was just approved a couple days ago. My back end is in the process of programming, and we're waiting. Actually, she's in Chicago grabbing some inventory, and once she gets her inventory together, we're gonna be programming. I'm looking at some notes. We're gonna be programming her inventory for her and shipping it out sometime mid next week to meet her opening date for the first. But yeah, some of our people are not going to be technologically attuned, not advanced, not programmers, not comfortable entering inventory. Inventory can be a pain, so we're going to be helping program some of the inventory for you for those equipments that go through me, and then I can also provide like Bluetooth barcode scanners, so it's easier to input your inventory directly into the system instead of having to do it manually. Um, I don't know. When it comes to merchant services, it's super important. So you want to deal with the account manager. You don't want to be, going through some online service where you're not able to have a conversation or a relationship with the person that's helping you on your business because it can get really tricky. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it, and if you don't pay attention to it, it's going to be a lot that comes out of it, out of your account. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
And that's a good point that you mentioned there, that people don't get it. When you just open your store, putting items in the POS system is a pain. It
Yeah.
is the worst thing ever. Like, you have to put them each and every one and scan each and every barcode. So that's why you need to curate your store. You need to know what items will I have. Don't be have random things, because it's gonna take you much longer to do it. Um anyway, if we're working on getting a way that if you go through EPOS, we can transfer our inventory list with the barcodes into your system.
Oh,
So
that's a
all
guarantee. That is a guarantee. I want to tell you, we definitely do that. We can definitely take your inventory management and upload it into a EPOS system, as well as uploading my software for my program and my
Mhm.
purchase rates and things like that. You will not have any. If you know how to, put your inventory into an Excel, that's
Yeah,
helpful.
it's an
If you know how to
Excel.
do that, that's helpful. If not, we have back end technicians that'll take your inventory, they'll convert it into an Excel for you, and then they'll program it into the system for you, and then also show you how to find it, manage it, and navigate it. So if you had a
Mhm.
hundred items and you sold two online and you sold one in person, your inventory system will show it as a total of 97 items. And you can set a vendor alert that if you go under, let's say 48, it'll
Yeah,
give you an alert that it's time for you to contact your vendor to reorder your
to do
product.
a
Take
reorder. Right,
take a lot of work off of your hands
right,
and also save you some money. So that's what
right.
we, you know.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
people need to understand that that's actually a privilege. Okay,
Yes,
because I did not get when I started out. I had
she
no
didn't
help
have
like that.
me. She didn't have me when she set
Right.
up. That's why.
It was so hard for me. So basically, I'm actually saving you probably 3 or 4 months of your life of putting
Oh,
products
maybe
in the
2 years.
system.
Maybe 2 years for people that's in contracts right now that can't do anything about it without the cancellation fee. They're
Oh
probably
yeah,
just, man, they might have clicked
exactly.
out of this link already. Like, ah, shit, I'm in a contract. Bye. Also, oh, here, speaking of that, if you just signed a lease, you might have 90 days to
To
get out
break
of
it.
it. You might
Yeah.
have 90 days, a trial period, especially with banks, Clover, and First Data. You be have 30 to 60, maybe up to 90 days to get out of that contract. I forgot to mention that when you were speaking about loopholes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a loophole. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. But yeah, we want to make it real easy for you to have great service, great product, low prices without any contractual obligations that kind of scare you and make you think you can't go anywhere. This is this is what we do. All of the contact information is gonna be in the comments below, but
Yeah.
the Beauty Supply Insiders is a pretty much copy and paste program. I'm almost ready to open up a store myself when I retire. It's like it seems so easy now. I like it.
Right.
You're
With
doing
the
good
right.
work.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, with the right person on your team, you can do it much faster. So there's nothing wrong with doing it on your own. Okay, I'm not saying pay me. No, you can do it by yourself. You're just gonna take a little bit longer to get there, because how do you know you're on the right path? How do you know you're doing it the right way? Like, how do you know you're not paying too much money? Do you want to go bankrupt before you know you're making a mistake?
How cocky must you be to learn?
Right, like that's not it. So
And the POS system is an assistant. This is a entity. This is going to take all of the manual labor for inventory management. You don't have
mhm,
to remember customers. It's in the system for gift and loyalty and customer reward programs. So you know what they bought last time. You can put notes next to them like Monica owns a salon in the mall. She does this. She does
mhm,
sew-ins or whatever. So you can give her specialized deals, 10% off braiding weave, 10%
mhm,
off bundles, 10% off the rat tail combs and the gel. Or if she's a barber, you can give her discounts on blades or
clippers.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's a way to customize it, and the POS system is the one that would log this information
Mhm.
and bring it up every time that customer signs in with their loyalty card or their code or whatever it is, whatever
Yeah.
we use on that. This is also something that we provide. So it's an all-in-one situation, but you want to start off at the basics of not paying more than you have to, or being into a long contractually obligated system where
Mhm.
to make these changes you have to pay. So if you start off better, like she said, why not speak to someone further down the road from you and ask them where are the potholes, where are the dips, and should I stay on the left or right side of the road? This is what we're trying to do for you. So if you again, the information is free, but not using it will probably cost you.
Yep. All right. So we're top of the hour. Um. So do we have any more questions before we wrap up? If you have any more questions, so I don't know how I ended up not being visible, but hopefully you can hear me.
I do. I hear you, so I believe the rest of them do as well.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Guys thinking that whatever is being on here, it's usually normal. Like that's what's out there. That's not. I don't want you to go. I can just get that. You might, with doing your research, but there's a lot of wording out there. There's a lot of these people are trained to speak to you. They're trained to get you to change your decision. They're trained to make you do something else that you're you are not planning to do. Like, you have to be prepared. You have to know that I'm not gonna get sucked into a contract. I'm not gonna get sucked into a lease. I'm not gonna get sucked into something that I cannot get out of, or be forced to stick with these people. Like, those are things you have to know in your head before you approach them, because it's crazy. But for those of you who are like, you know what,
Have your
I'm
armor on. Don't be gullible.
yeah, don't be gullible. So we're gonna put in the details. And obviously, when you reach out to Sadiq, just let him know that you're coming from the Beauty Supply Insider, so that he knows everything that we just talked about. He knows that's supposed to be included in your offer. Because he's promising us as a group, as a Beauty Supply Insiders, he's promising us this better deal and this better
Okay.
prices,
And
and
no
this,
contracts.
uh, no contract. You a deal without a contract. Let's just be real. Let's
No
just be real.
contract.
Like,
Month to month. My
yeah,
word.
nothing. No one is gonna give you month to month, and that's how
You're
good
never
he
gonna
is.
leave me. You're never gonna leave me. I'm just gonna make sure that you know that you can.
Right.
That's all.
So when you reach out, just let him know you're coming from the Insider Beauty Supply Insider Riders, so that you can get the non-contract services. And obviously, I use EPOS now, so I'll put the link in there for you to go purchase your EPOS. And if you want the Deja Vu, that's okay for you to use that. I don't use that. I'm not good for it. But if that's what you want, you can do more research on it, and you can go get that. Okay. All right. So, hey, thank you so much for coming in. Thank
Bless
you
up.
so much
Bless up.
for.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate the live questions. I hope people learn from it. Even if we don't convert them to customers for me and you, I just hope somebody at least know not to mess with Square. Stay away from Square. If you ain't getting
And
nothing else.
Clover.
Yeah, but no, just hopefully someone learned something from this and maybe we can save somebody some
Yeah.
money. Pass this information on to anyone in business. This information works with any retail, just so you know
Right.
that. So pass this information on. It's not just you, the insiders. You, as the insiders, you have a responsibility to share whatever good information that works. You have to share it. That's the whole point of this channel. So
Yeah.
do your job. That's
So
it.
you can,
That's all I got.
yeah, share this live to someone who's starting a small business, or who's already a small business owner, who's gonna benefit from this.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Just send this to them so that they can know and make better decisions. Like, honestly, I'm just gonna be real. So the wake up call for me, the day that I paid over $480 for a transaction, I was like, this is crazy, because some days, like a Monday and a Tuesday, some days are slow in business. Like, business is good, average you can make even $1,000 going up and all that. But there are days where maybe it's snowed, people are not coming out of their homes. So that day you're making like what, $100, and then someone takes the whole 480 that I did not make in one single day, but they took it, that's why I'm doing this for you. I don't want you to be making those mistakes. I see their question, how do I become a Beauty Supply Insider member? We have a newsletter that goes out every week, so that gives you all the details. I'll put a link for you guys to sign up. You'll go in, it's an opt-in page to subscribe. You'll put in your email and your name, and in the newsletter. So every time the newsletter comes out, you'll get, every time we have anything we're sharing about the industry, you'll get that information as well. We'll put in Sadiq's email and a link to his business. Actually, not email. I won't do email because I don't want spams.
Okay.
So we'll just do a link to your Facebook and your website.
Okay.
And then We'll do a link to EPOS as well, and we'll do a link to the Beauty Supply Insider website to opt in for the newsletter. Okay? All that will be in the description box. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for your support, for being part of this Insider Riders. We wouldn't be here if it's not for you. I love sharing information, so if you have anything else that you're like, oh dang it, I'm late, I should have asked this question, just send me an email. I'll put in my email in there as well. Just send me an email and I'll forward any information that I have. Okay, and if you like this, maybe we can do another live. If you maybe want a guest in a different industry, just let me know. We can make all that happen. All right, enjoy your weekend, people.
Bless up, bless up.
All right, bye bye, bye bye everyone. Peace out.